record on this computer. We are. Nope, that's a different thing going off. And somewhere over here, it tells me to go live. And then somehow we're live. The magic of Facebook will tell us eventually that we're live.
Hey, there we are. We are live on Facebook.
We are live and direct, coming to you through the Facebook. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's the Evan and Aaron show. This is my buddy Evan.
What's up?
I'm Aaron. Mm-hmm. That makes us the Evan and Aaron show. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to have some fun chit chat tonight. Customize your dashboard in Live Producer. Probably not going to do that right now.
There you go. Dude, did you notice something different?
I am loving the background. You got Barack over your shoulder, as there should be
all the time.
He's looking down on you.
Right there. This
is
an Irish vase. That's
right.
A base, but it's Irish.
And that's an infinity decanter. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Okay. So yes, this is what I was talking about. The infinity bottle. I just found out from friends of mine who hosted a wonderful evening, and so I was told that an infinity bottle is basically where bourbon drinkers, the last little bit of bourbon in each of your bottles, you pour it into your infinity bottle.
So it's kind
doesn't matter.
It's a whiskey suicide.
Yes, but here's the thing about it, though. It is supposed to be absolutely fabulous. Like so I'm anticipating. I'm like, okay, I got to the bottom of several, and it's like, okay,
so long as they're the same sort of thing, right?
Yeah, bourbon.
I wouldn't go. You wouldn't throw a single malt Scotch in there, and although I guess you could, because, well, that goes into other things.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. Who doesn't take the last sip of the Scotch?
Well, yeah, exactly. And I've got Johnny Walker Black, so I'm like, okay, I want to kind of work my way through that.
Of course you do.
Yeah. Oh man, tonight's going to be interesting because I have definitely been pre-gaming, my friend.
Hey, there was a Manchester United snooze fest from.
Hey, how'd they do? Oh, Crystal Palace? No. Oh man,
it was about as entertaining as our match over the weekend.
Yeah, boy, but that was not good.
Here's the thing, Evan. We're in the dog days of the season right now. I think people are tired. I think every team is struggling a little bit. There's a couple. 3-0-0 draws in a row. Yeah. But you know what the saving grace is? We're in second place, man.
You guys
we're in second place, and if we're not playing well and we're in second place, I'd like to think that if we rediscover a little form, I don't think we're catching City. I don't think anybody's catching City.
They are just on a roll, dude.
But if we could put together, first off, we're unbeaten in 21 straight games in the Premier League. I'll take it. Now, a lot of those are draws, but is what it is, man. You guys are in the same boat. Just keep plugging away. Find a
top six, got top a big five, game. Top six, maybe we'll be
game,
okay.
Big game tomorrow, man. Big game tomorrorow. I could see you doing it, but it'll take. Honestly, I'm hoping for a draw.
That would be good.
That would be really good. You're away. They're looking to find some form again too. You're playing.
I was going to say,
okay.
Liverpool's kind of they're kind of on shaky ground right now. So maybe
Tuchel doesn't know his best 11 just yet. I don't think either. He's tinkering a little.
Okay, but I will say this: Tim Howard made a really good point at the end of that Man U Chelsea match. He said, "Look, there's a time that you've got to settle. You got to settle, and he's going to have to settle because guys like James." In as much as I'm shaky on Tammy Abraham, and I know he's been hurt, but he's coming back. What are you going to do with Timo? Start the guy. Let the guy play.
Got to play the guy back into form.
Just let him play, man. Let him play. And
strikers need minutes, man.
Exactly.
Honestly, he needs. I would probably start him, and if there's any left, I would start him in an easy cup game. Shout outs to everybody
Mm.
out there. Steph
Yep.
F. Absolutely.
Yes.
Congratulates on the baby girl. That's
What's
awesome.
up, parental units?
Yeah, no kidding.
What's up?
Io, what's good?
My man Io. He already told us like some stuff to talk about. So
The only bad thing about Frankie showing up for that match is he's gonna like think this is soccer for the rest of his life. Wait, is Frankie a boy or a girl? I don't know.
She.
It's a
She,
girl.
I
It's a
believe.
girl. It
Yep.
is. It is a she.
Yep.
I knew that. Hi, Sam.
Yay,
I
Sam.
did know that. But yeah, what a boring match. Hopefully the next ones are better. You can give Frankie a good one tomorrow, maybe.
There you go. There you go. I'm you know what? Here's the thing. I am going to predict this. I'm going to say Tomas will get his first win versus Liverpool. I'm saying it. If he starts Werner, and if he starts the Frenchman. If we run
I don't think you can play him. I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can play two strikers against Liverpool away.
They're down, man. They're down. Right now, Conte's playing great. Conte's playing awesome.
They're a wounded tiger in a corner, my man. You do not want to poke a bear. I'm gonna mix my metaphors.
I don't know. You know what Belichick says? If you wait till halftime to make adjustments, you're dead.
Well, he plays the wrong football. So I try to be clever naming the shows. And tonight is the Lorax, Mr. Potato Head, and Mooby walk into a bar. So let's just go by one here, okay?
Let's do it.
So the Dr. Seuss books, it has been announced that 6 particular books, by the way, 6 titles I've never heard of. I'd never heard of these books before. I know the main ones. I know the big Dr. Seuss books. Love Dr. Seuss. But and this is one of those stories. I think a lot of these are stories where you got to read past the headline, and there's a lot of faux outrage because the headline makes you think one thing. There's all this cancel culture. Oh, Democrats are canceling Mr. Potato Head. Democrats are canceling Dr. Seuss. Well, the Dr. Seuss Foundation did this themselves.
Yes.
In review with the National Librarian Association or something like that, they said, hey, look, if we're going to be championing particular books, for children, some of these are just sort of no longer appropriate. They had their time and a place, but if you look at them through the modern lens, you have to say there's some slightly offensive material in there. And in much the same way that people are freaking out over Disney, putting a disclaimer at the beginning of the Muppet Show and stuff like that, I don't think this is a case of unfairly judging something from a different time period through today's lens, but it is acknowledging that if you have to put it in its proper context. And Dr. Seuss had some really, really negative imagery, had some anti-American imagery, if you think about it, because of the whole like weird patriot stuff, bit of a Nazi sympathizer, and definitely had some racist, I think the word was exotified tropes, right? Anything of a slightly different color, different hue, different language is exotic. And for the longest time that held, it was meant to be a positive thing, but it's kind of a derogatory kind of thing. So the main thing, my takeaway from it is that people sort of self-policed in the way the world is supposed to work, right? I posted something the other day that said, look, just because I'm trying to be good doesn't mean I don't have work to do. I have some ingrained things that until somebody goes, hey man, think about those words again, say that out loud and go, oh shit, I didn't even realize some of these things. And that's where other people, where a civilized society says, hey man, cool. I don't think you meant to offend anybody, but it's good that you caught yourself and recognize that we need to move forward. I think this is that. I think this is the free market at play, the free market saying, you know what? We no longer wish to offend a certain segment of people, and the people who are upset by this are going to get over it. Really? How long are you going to boycott a Dr. Seuss book? Your kid wants to read that damn Lorax, and the Lorax is a good story, right? So
that's right.
Cut out the ones that, sort of exaggerate Black people and other ethnicities,
Mm-hmm.
this isn't difficult, you know?
I mean, you said it, man. And I have just one take on this whole thing. You know, we are in a time now to where we have to take a look back and we have to see things for what they are now. You're right. I don't think that, we can necessarily say, "Oh, wow, that was terrible." I mean, there are some things that we can look back and say, why the hell did I laugh at that?" I.e., Tom and Jerry, the mammy, that was on Tom and Jerry. Every time Bugs Bunny gets blown up, he's in blackface. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, shit. You look back at it and you're like, okay, yeah, that needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
That just needs to go. Um, my thing is, as a person of color, growing up reading these books, and I throw Peter Pan in there, um, other, childhood books that depict natives, in the way that they do. I throw all those things together because I I got used to having to be okay with things
Yeah.
because I was in the minority culture. And for me to stand up as a 7 or 8 year old kid and say this is wrong, that wasn't my place. And
Mm-hmm.
so looking back at it, I'm like, okay, I would have loved to examine it then, to have somebody in
Mm-hmm.
teachers. This is where we can come into play. This is
Mm-hmm.
where we can really
Yeah.
make a difference. To have a teacher say, hey, look, we'll look at Peter Pan, but you have to realize that Peter Pan, and you explain it to kids like, this isn't the way that we refer to Native
Mm-hmm.
Americans.
Yeah.
Why do you, and start the discussion with kids even in elementary school. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
why do you think that it would be bad to refer to someone as red? And I've actually had this conversation with small kids when I was in children's ministry. I'm like, why do you think that this is bad? And they're like, well, nobody is. I'm like, is anybody painted red? Is anybody? No. And I'm like, so we're describing people in ways that they're not. And so when we
Mm-hmm.
describe people in ways that they're not,
Yeah.
that can very well make somebody sad and make someone really upset because that's not who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there are ways to put those messages, man, that Dr. Seuss and the publishers of Dr. Seuss are realizing. They're like, okay, look, this isn't about cancel culture. It's just about re-examining
Yeah.
things in the light of where we are now. And I applaud them for that. I
Yeah.
really do.
And that's what most people should be doing. I mean, that's how culture should work. You recognize that. I mean, language changes, how we evolve and learn about one another as people changes. And for me, it's not about a misuse of a word from time to time. It's once you know better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once you know better, what's your choice moving forward?
Yeah.
Right? As a
Yep.
society, we know certain things. We know we shouldn't eat too much food with preservatives in it, but a lot of us
Mm-hmm.
still do. That's a conscious choice. Okay. But that only impacts each of us individually. And then, yes, on a macro level, we can talk about, how
Sure.
all that goes on. But on an individual level, look, if grandpa refers to somebody, the colored guy down the street, he probably does not mean that, and
Right.
but once he knows better, once somebody's like, hey grandpa, it's not really, it's not really how they'd prefer to be spoken, referred to.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different ways now, and let's face it, the NAACP still carries that term. Doesn't make it, I'm
Sure.
not
Right.
justifying. I'm saying this
No,
is
you're right.
this there's a certain confusion to this. So I do understand when some people are like, damn it, I don't, what do I do now? Well, what you do is, if you're confused, you say, hey, person of indiscriminate gender who happens to be my host, how would you like me to refer to you? You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
this is how we move forward as a society. If a woman is named Margaret, but she'd really, really prefer you to call her Peg and you call her Maggie or some shit, it's the same sort of a dick kind of thing.
And now I
But
was
you're
getting
not
ready to say
offending an
that.
entire race of people by doing it. But
Dude, that was the perfect example you have used on this show, man, to explain this very concept. And keep doing it, brother. That's perfect.
yeah,
Absolutely
well,
perfect.
I mean, I don't understand why people feel like somehow they're being oppressed. that they're being oppressed because somebody says, "Hey, man, I would just prefer to not be referred that way."
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
I've heard plenty of black people say, "Don't call me African American. I'm not African American. My family's been here for 150 fucking years. I'm
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not calling you
Right.
Italian American. Your family's here been for so long, or German American, what have you. I'm an
Yeah.
American. Fuck you." Right?
Interesting you said that. And it would be interesting to hear from, the people who are watching or whatever. I I go back and forth. I really do. I go back and forth because and I don't know if it's just because the profession I'm in or whatever, but I go back and forth. And I see both points as far as
Mhm.
African American and black. Um I there is nothing African about me other than the DNA that is
Right.
in my cells, There's nothing African about me. And I wonder
You
if
can do the
those who
wobble. Come on now.
I can do it really well too, man.
Come on now. Shake it out. Shake it out.
Yep, yeah. And I wonder if those folks from if those folks from Africa get tired of that. I wonder if they're like, no, it's we're black people and we're different.
Mm.
All of us, we're all different, but we're black people. I don't know. I mean, I believe it or not, that's something that we don't talk about at the monthly meeting.
Right.
We don't have a common talking point. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to hear from like people who are watching us. What if you are a person of color, if you happen to identify as black or African American, which one do you prefer? I don't know.
Well,
Good question.
I mean, once the dominoes and the brown liquor come out, I don't think you're talking about anything else, right? Like, apparently Warner Brothers isn't going to let Cube make another Friday. Bust out the dominoes. Did I get you with a good one there?
Oh, that one hurt, man. That one was good. That one was good.
I occasionally throw a bullseye. So along the same lines, like, uh, well, Troy, you aren't African American. No, I
Wait.
I totally no, I totally get it because I mean that's why in a lot of ways why would she? She's got her specific, well, right, she is Jamaican, but she's got a
Mm-hmm.
specific family heritage. And
Yeah.
the problem is a lot of people want to lump that all together, right?
So right.
Afro-Caribbean. Is she would she even say she's Afro-Caribbean? Like people want to like break it down. Like, is it house music? Is it, you know, where do we go? Is it techno futura? Is it electro funk? Like,
Right.
why can't
Right.
we just enjoy what it is? Like her family is what it is, and she
Mm-hmm.
should be proud of that rather than having to reduce it to some other type of trope. So cool.
Right.
Thank you for weighing in on that. That's actually pretty cool, Troy.
That is cool. And once again, talking about this, and this is really good. A
Holy
really good
shit. Io
discussion.
just hit us.
Yeah, but we made a mute. Oh yes, racial identity versus national identity. And
Just watched that movie last night.
Well, that's what I was getting at. I'm like, is this a discussion about race or is this a discussion about ethnicity? Because
right,
race would say I'm black. My ethnicity is Nigerian, Irish,
mm-hmm.
German. You know what I mean? And so as we get into those type of things, but once again, why the hell are we putting labels on this shit?
Because white people need that shit. White people have to compartmentalize everybody else, right? Because before this conversation, it was, are you German? Are you Italian? Are you Jewish? Which, again, racial identity versus national identity.
Yep.
You're Jewish, but you're not fucking Israeli. And you can be Israeli and be Christian. Or or probably possibly Muslim too.
Muslim, yeah, absolutely.
So I think the context is what weighs into it, because a white person is just going to say I'm a white American, right? And if you really pressed them, they'll say I'm European. And because most white dudes don't know their fucking ancestry, they're just like, well, I'm European. I'm I'm 1/5 Germanic.
Is that the standard line?
I did genealogy.com and I traced my family back. Whatever.
Oh, that's so funny, man.
Well,
wow.
Let's face it, if that's what a lot of white folks don't want to acknowledge. Like, at this point in time, you're as mulatto as anything else, man. Your family's been in America for how long? By the way, the Europeans were pretty fucking dirty people, and there was a whole lot of inbreeding. There was a whole lot of like,
just ask the natives, just ask the Native Americans.
This village ain't doing so well. Let's marry off a few people and blah 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 blah.
Disease and shit, man.
God. Yeah. Well, everywhere white people go, we bring a plague with us. So I think we've pretty much covered Dr. Seuss and Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, we got that one.
I don't even think we need to go into Mr. Potato Head, because that's even more stupid, because it was just let's be inclusive. Like, you can still put a must. First off, there has never been a version of the Mr. Potato Head toy sold in a major store. I mean, you might be able to find some off-brand shit, but I don't think you've ever had a Mr. Potato Head that came with a cock and balls or a vagina and some breasts. So
exactly.
Basically, the difference between Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head is a mustache and pink lips. And if you've never been to a drag show, I got bad fucking news for you. So... And honestly, put the mustache on with the pink lips. It's a whole new thing. But there's never,
you know what?
There's never been, you know how you get like a potato that's like a couple days past it, so it starts to get a little growth?
Oh, yeah.
There is no little growth on the Mr. Potato Head. There is no little dangle. So
not at all.
What is like, this is how threatened the cis hetero white male world is, that a fucking book about not real animals or beings and a fucking anthropomorphic potato toy somehow challenges their supremacy in the world. How fucking fragile. Like, I look around, I'm like, how fragile are you people complaining about this? We're in the middle of a pandemic, and this is what you're complaining about.
It's amazing to me, man, to sit back and just to watch the madness unfold.
The adults are over here trying to figure out how to get shit open again and revive a thriving economy, and you're mad that a group of people decided for themselves to self-censor. But that's something Republicans don't understand. They've never self-censored.
No, they haven't. Right? Nope. And you know what? Io just said it. Potatoes are non-binary. I would say
potatoes are totally tubular.
And on that note,
tuberer.
Anyway, it is time for the halftime shot. And look, just for you, my friend.
Las Vegas. When are we going?
Yes. I've got one.
We need to do a show on location in Las Vegas.
Oh,
I don't think that show would last very long, but I think we should do it.
And that would be so dangerous. But
or Key West. I think we go to the beach maybe.
Okay, I am going to make that happen. Like, we've got to make one of those happen. Like, Vegas would probably be easier than Key West, but we got to make that happen. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I'm down.
I had a chance to see some of our friends today.
I was there last night. We went after soccer for the first time in ever. Like,
man, that's great. Great.
It was awesome. Shut it down like old school times. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Shout out to that crew.
Well, I was going to say, I told Gabe and JoJo I'd give them shout outs. So you know what? Kiana, one of the live audience in Vegas. Sure.
Yes,
join us.
Yes. Everyone's invited. We're taking the show on the road.
Which, by the way, I have a double shout out to Gabe and JoJo and to my daughters that will be turning 21 at the end of this month.
Wow. What are we doing for that?
Going to Vegas. No. No.
I'm in, I
No.
think.
I think we're gonna start small. We're gonna, just go out for breakfast and maybe some mimosas, somewhere where we can sit outside, and by the end of March it'll be nice. But hey, happy birthday and all that good stuff. What do you got for us, Aaron?
As an aside, Casey daughters, Uncle Aaron will take you out for what
I
I'm here
don't want
for.
to know. I
No,
don't
it's
want to
fine.
know
We won't
anything.
tell you. We won't tell you.
Don't want to know anything that happens. Nothing.
We'll head to a rooftop somewhere in Fountain Square.
I know what happens at rooftops with you.
Girls, you should see your dad dance.
No, you shouldn't.
No, you probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
I want to say I second all that. I want to say shout out to the now late great Bunny Whaler, the last surviving member of the Whalers.
Yeah.
And shout out to teachers in Indiana. I know it's a long road, but you're about to get your shots, folks. And if we want to open those schools, then you are the frontline people, and you deserve them far more than the rest of us. So cheers. Sláinte. Love you all.
Sláinte. You hear me do the Letterkenny double tap? That was awesome. Man, that was a lot. Oh, that was a lot,
so,
dude.
To finish up the trio of the title of the show, for those of you who didn't get the joke, Mooby is the mascot. He's a golden calf. He's the mascot for the Mooby restaurant that exists in the View Askew universe, in Clerks 2 and what is it, Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
But the point is, a group of so-called evangelical Christians carried in a literal golden idol of Donald Trump, dressed in board shorts and built like a troll doll, into CPAC. I don't know if the irony is lost on them or they think they're trolling or what. But in a nutshell, it's maybe just the cap of everything that could have been stupid at CPAC this weekend. Never mind Ted Cruz saying that the Republican Party is not the party of country clubs, while the leader of their party literally lives in a country club. Yeah, thank you. I mean, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got like Hobbit feet, sandals.
So bad, dude.
He's literally wearing like NASCAR shorts, a tie. They had to make him thinner than he is, obviously, because he's fucking obese. His head's almost as big as his entire torso.
Yes.
Which makes total sense.
That is accurate. That's accurate, right?
I mean, Evan, do I just not get the joke? And do I just not get what's going on here?
So I have a bit of irony for you, my friend, as far as this statue is concerned. This statue was actually made by a former youth pastor.
Right. Well, yeah.
And it is beyond me how, the story of Moses and Aaron did not occur to him while he was making this golden statue of Trump. I think what we see here now, what we see honestly is we see that the Republican Party, and I take back everything I said, guys, there is, and Trump said it. He said it. And, I started out early saying there may be a third party, but then we quickly reversed, and we're right to reverse, because he came out and said, no, there's not going to be a third party. The Republican Party is mine. I watched this whole thing, Aaron.
I couldn't do it.
Dude, I watched the whole thing. I know. But us black people are used to suffering. And so we got that gene. And it's just like, come on, bring it in. Yeah. We got it. Yes. We got it. So anyway, dude, I watched this whole thing, and good God, it was. I'm not. I'm done sharing. I can't even look at it anymore, dude. It was so bad. I mean, it was so bad because this guy continually perpetuates so many lies, so many big lies. I mean, Io, you're right. You are right. Yeah, one day you'll list it. No, seriously, man. Look, I you were absolutely spot on. There's two political parties right now. Two political parties. And it's the Democrats and it's the Trumpians. That's exactly what it is. There are no more Republicans. We thought we could hold out for Mitt Romney, but Romney finally showed his colors. He finally showed his colors, and it was like, oh yeah, okay, we've kind of figured
I
that.
mean,
Whenever he was like, nope, sorry, if screw the homosexuals, we're sorry, we can't go that far. And it's like, man,
he is what
dude,
he is. He is what
yeah.
he is.
Now, and we've had this debate before about religion and about your beliefs and stuff. Yes, I get it. I totally get it. But damn it, man.
Yeah, I mean, first off, before I forget, later we're going to have a discussion about Maslow's hierarchy of human needs because I saw that as one of your tabs. And I absolutely love that discussion. That's some serious.
There you go.
Some
We're
heavy,
gonna have to do
that's
that.
some heavy philosophy stuff right there.
Oh, but
I
look
can
at
weigh in on
this
that.
though. Look what I'm able to do now, my friend.
You couldn't do it without looking.
Oh, I couldn't do it without looking. I may sample the infinity jar, but go ahead, my friend.
So I want to share something.
Please do. Keep your clothes on when you do it too, please.
And it is this. Let's see. How does one share? Shit. Evan, how do I share?
Oh my God, dude, that tastes like Jameson. Oh shit, that's so good. Oh, what? Okay, so with share screen at the bottom, you see that? Like when you move your cursor, chat, share screen should be a green button.
Oh God, literally in the middle of everything, you dumbass.
There you go, brother.
Share screen. Share that. So I've tried to verify this, but I'm taking it on face value. Can you see this? Can everybody see that? Can you see it?
Oh, I saw. Yes. Oh
so
my God.
This is what the Georgia House is pushing. They want to limit the location and hours of mail-in voting drop boxes. So you can't just go to a drop box any time of day. You can't use it like the postal service for whatever reason. That makes no sense. Voters must provide copy of ID for absentee voting. I don't have a problem with ID. I don't. I have no issue. We can talk about that later, but I have no issue with having to show an ID to vote.
That's fine.
At me.
That's fine.
Decrease early voting on weekends.
What does that have to do?
And then finally, it would make it a misdemeanor to give food or water to voters waiting in line. Evan,
there's an obvious loophole. There's an obvious loophole right here.
Yeah, I get it, but just the fact that this is being proposed, that they're no longer hiding their intent.
No.
They do not believe in their own message, and they do not want everyone voting. How does anyone even sharing some of their policy ideals? How do you support this? How do you go along with this? And is this just Georgia fucking being Georgia? Because if you ask me, this is basically targeting low income and people of color.
Yep, that's it. I mean, if you are a fan of the musical Hamilton, okay, This is
love it.
exactly what Madison and Jefferson did in that musical. This is what they did. They came back and they said, okay, Hamilton's in charge of the treasury. Okay, fine, blah blah blah. But they're constantly working behind the scenes, constantly doing something to make sure that they are a step ahead of everything. Um, this is right here. This is right here a direct attack, a direct assault on and I love, obviously, I love all people of color and stuff like that. This is a direct assault upon Black people. I mean, it just is. Okay. This is deep seated Black code shit right here. This is the type of stuff that was enacted immediately after slavery to ensure that Black bodies were still working to help create the Southern, or help perpetuate the Southern economy. This is the type of little stuff that seems little, but that will affect the Black community the most. And so what is so asinine about this, and Gia said it right. I mean, the undesirable voters. We are undesirable because we overwhelmingly will vote Democratic. Overwhelmingly, because we recognize that Democrats, at this point in time in American history, Democrats will represent more of what minority populations and people of color need than Republicans will.
Well, and I was having this conversation just last night, and in much the same way, I don't want to address the Black / African American / people of color community as a monolith. It's a diaspora. It comes in from everywhere. But if I may for a second paint with a broad brush, the Latino / Chicano / Hispanic - American community here is overwhelmingly family oriented, predominantly Catholic, but definitely Christian, and fairly conservative. There's definitely a distrust or a misunderstanding of gayness in a lot of that community. The irony, because it's also prevalent in any community, but and again, I'm trying to make a bigger point, and I get that in pockets this isn't true, but I'm saying overall you've got a family-oriented, Christian-oriented community in a lot of these places.
Yep.
And if Republicans just didn't dislike brown people for the sake of disliking brown people, they'd have a ready-made voting block.
Exactly.
They still don't understand how to take advantage of anti-Castro Cubans, right? Like that. Talk about a ready-made voting block. Like, we believe in everything, and they're still just like, yeah, but I just don't know. It's like, if you would stop disparaging these people who simply come from places that do not have the same means, and quite frankly don't have the same means that we have because of political decisions we've been making for the last 60 years and fucking with their governments. I mean, gee, I wonder why Venezuelans are fleeing the country and coming to our southern border. I wonder if it has anything to do with us, I don't know, trying to set up governments for years and years and years. So they don't understand what they have available to them. And don't be wrong, I get why minorities are like, fucking Democrats, man. You talk a good game, but you never deliver. So I get it. I mean, Joe Biden and Kamala need to fucking and seriously step up. And and Barack could have done more too.
Absolutely. But let me temper this. Let me temper this a little bit. I'm not trying to make excuses. But what I am saying is this, is that Barack had, and what we're realizing now, and I think that this year we're realizing the pressure that he, as a black man, the first black president, had on him to keep the peace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's the thing. We have to look at this thing from different perspectives. We got to look and say, okay, why didn't Barack do as much for the black community as we
He
thought
was in a
he should
no-win
do?
situation.
He was in a no-win. Exactly.
Because if he'd have gone all in on black issues, then he'd have taken a shit ton of criticism. And if he had ignored it altogether, so to, you know, and he sort of half-assed it in his particular way. But can you imagine if he'd just waded straight into what was it? Ferguson, Missouri?
Ferguson. Yeah. Absolutely.
Imagine if he just fucking stomped right in there. Oh my God, he'd have caught in even more hell.
Oh my God. And so looking at it from that perspective, as the black community, I think we're starting to realize, and not as the black community, but I think as the American community, those of us who really analyze things, realize what pressure this man was under. He was carrying the weight of hundreds of years on his shoulders, and did it with the grace and power of somebody that is unprecedented. I'm not saying that he was like God or anything like that, but just like Jackie Robinson, I'm not sure there was another black politician that could have filled that first role like Barack Obama did, because of all of the pressure that was that he was facing. Now, fast forward to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They have not only that same legacy to continue, but they have 4 years of shit to wade through and scoop up. And I think
there it is.
And so what I would say is this, is to all of our really, really liberal friends, please, we have never said that Joe Biden is the savior of us all. You will never hear that come from my mouth. You will never hear that. You'll never hear that come from Aaron's mouth. But what I'm saying is this, is that for a time like this, Joe is exactly who we need right now to kind of hit the brakes, to stop the Titanic from actually hitting the iceberg, and say, hey, look, we've got to reverse course, but we've got to do it gradually and slowly. Yeah. The time is coming, and I will predict this. The time is coming for a Bernie, for an Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
The time is coming.
We don't know.
It may not be.
It obviously won't be then.
It may not be.
It'll be the next one. Yeah.
Exactly. It's coming.
AOC for president.
Hey, you know what? Once we get it all set up, I'm good with that.
Troy, to answer your question, 66% of the Hispanic vote went for Joe Biden, and that's on par. The best was 75-25 once, but it's hovered around 75 to 65 for the last couple of elections going for the Democrats. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Your main pickups are, for Republicans are anti-Castro Cubans, which how are you still Florida. Anti-Castro at this point? But whatever. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Joe Manchin.
But then you're going to have your New Mexico, Arizona, Southern California, and Texas vote, where a lot of Hispanics will probably vote conservative as well. And but that shows you their failure to understand the issue of what they want. Mm-hmm. And much like we've talked about this before, that there are certain black people in this country who are like, I vote Republican because I'm never going to get past the racist issue, but I vote with him on these other things. I can disagree, but at least that's an answer, right? Like at least you can elucidate what you're saying versus this ethereal white panic economic anxiety thing that we were told a few years ago. Nah, you're just racist fucks. But I understand why people of color would be like, look, This country was founded on racism. It's gonna be racist, and by and large, I skate by. Right? Like I'm used to it. I'm used to the stare. I'm used to this and that, whatever. I live my life this way. But if you can keep my taxes down or what have you, if they're voting locally, again, I don't agree with it, but at least you can make your argument, right?
Right.
If it makes
Right.
sense to you, cool.
Man. Let's look at some of these statements here. Io said Joe Biden may not be our savior, but Joe Manchin might be the one who destroys us. Man, oh my God, Joe Manchin. You know what? Here's the thing. Some of you may know, I grew up in southeastern Ohio, and I spent a lot of time in West Virginia. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. God, oh, that's terrible. Roger, have you read all those books? Actually, those right there, yes. I'm still working on that one. Though. So there you go. Joe the Third, Ginger, yes, please. Joe, yeah, there you go. So Joe Kennedy, the young one, the handsome one. I don't know a lot about Joe Kennedy.
Well, isn't he supposed to? Isn't he supposed to? Wait, do I have this wrong? No, it's JFK Jr. that they think is gonna. He's still alive and something like that. I don't know. I can't keep up with all this shit, man.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. The Ohio State University. Wait, what? Wait. Do I have Ohio State? I don't have Ohio State behind me anymore. I don't think. Anyway, Io said, if you're black and your conservatism is rooted in your blackness, that I can respect. Yes. And Aaron, you said it gracefully, my friend. And you're right. I mean, it's, once again, it proves that we're not a monolith. It proves that, that blacks, once again, like I said, that we do, the majority of blacks vote Democrat. But once again, I think that we underestimate the vast wealth of knowledge and wisdom that the black population has. So, I definitely agree with that, my friend. Definitely. Evan, don't be sorry. West Virginia actually has had a rich history that's progressive. That's how they went west. Okay. I won't be. We just need to get someone in there who's proud that
they went
he's on
west of Virginia.
West of Virginia.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. I am going to declare it my favorite time of the podcast, my friend. I've got only one thing for you tonight, but this is the Hey Aaron segment of our show that, like I said, I really take pride in. Aaron, I'm going to start off with a question.
I'm going to start off with a shot.
Okay, well, do that. Do that thing, man. I'm going to start off with a question. If you had the opportunity to have a beer with anyone in history who is currently living or deceased, who would that person be and why?
Oh, man. There's so many ways to answer this question.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a part of you that wants to be like very intellectual and, like Christ,
I got a lot of questions for you, sir. Yeah.
Well, and just like,
yeah.
I mean, first off, like, did it hurt? Of course it hurt. But then there's also like,
did it hurt? Oh my God. I just got that. Sorry. I was reading
like different time periods. Like, can I insert myself into a historical situation? Can I be like, I'm sitting at the table with, Paul McCartney in London the night Jimi Hendrix played Sgt. Pepper to them. Right?
Oh my God.
Like,
yes.
So, but I think your question is, if you could sit down and have a beer and have a conversation with a historical figure,
yeah,
who would it be?
Yeah.
I my entire life, and I don't know where this started from, but it has. Is like I did book reports. I love the movie, and I know the movie is not as historically accurate as people like. But I think it'd be fun and also interesting to have a beer with Gandhi, because he's
Wow.
at this point he's a very controversial figure now that we know more about him.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but he had a mission, and I'd like to see if he'd drink the beer.
Oh, well, that's a good point. That's a really good point. So, okay.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, there are a ton of ways to answer that question, because I think
sure.
it'd be cool to. It'd be awesome to fucking have a beer with Babe Ruth after a Yankees game, right?
So stop because
George Best.
That's the first part, but the second part is interactive, and I'm going to ask those who are watching, who would you like Aaron to have a beer with?
Oh Christ!
And you, Aaron, have to react to who our audience is saying. Okay. So Io, Marshawn Lynch. Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined. All right.
Oh, dude,
Assuming
a beer with Marshawn Lynch would be hysterical, especially to see if he puts Skittles in his beer.
Oh, he can drink because he's dead.
Ryan Coogler, director, writer of Black Panther. Is that right?
I
E40. E40's funny.
E40.
Like I dig E40. I'd probably do more than have a beer with E40. I'm just guessing.
Gia's saying Aaron has a beer with mean old me. Okay, so Aaron having a beer with Gia. There you go.
Is she mean?
You know what? Gia will drink us both under the table. Dude, I'm not kidding. She and Roger have both Viking spirits in them. That, dude, I'm telling you,
I feel like I've been
crazy.
challenged.
It's crazy, man. It is.
Ryan Coogler
crazy.
played high school football against Marshawn Lynch, or E40 did? Because honestly, both of those are funny.
Oh wow.
So
those of you who
clarification,
those of you who are joining us, we had just put out put a name in the chat.
Gunny Ermy, I'd have a drink with fucking Gunny Ermy. Damn right.
There you go.
That would be a good ass day, and I'd probably be scared shitless the whole time. But
there you go.
I would absolutely have a beer with Gunny Ermy.
Put a name in the chat of who you would like Aaron to have a beer with, a historical figure, either present or past, who you would like Aaron to have a beer with. We have some professional JoJo. Yes, that's true. Okay, Aaron, here you go. While we're waiting on people, I've got a name for you.
All right. Oh, Coogler. Okay, cool.
Courtney Love.
Here's the problem with that situation is it would progress well beyond just drinking really quick.
Yes,
and I got to be honest, I think she'd put a hurting on me. Like I can keep up for a little while, but she's buried one husband, and
it's too soon. It's too soon, man.
Shit happened in 1994, man.
I know. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Oh, Roger and Gia. I had a drink with him. He was an asshole.
Well, then why are you here's look, it's your recommendation. You're like, how about Gunny Ermy?
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, that'd be awesome. And now you're like, oh, he's an asshole. I feel like I've been baited by the two of you.
That is awesome.
You are mean, Gia. Gosh.
She's a snake.
Walk me right into that one.
Yeah, I know. No, okay.
Now that I think about it, I think a good night out with like, man.
I've got more names.
Like George Best.
Inspiration.
George Best would be good. Like back in the heyday.
Okay.
All right, give me yours. Let's see. I need some responses. Let's go here. Give me yours.
Here we go. This is a sweet spot for you, and I want you to really think about this one. Wayne Rooney.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, we'll end up at somebody else's wedding drinking smoking cigarettes and doing like the sprinkler dance at 4 a.m. You heard about that, right? When he was on
England, I did not.
He was on. No. He was called on to English duty and then found out he wasn't going to play. So at the hotel they were staying at, he'd gone out and gotten drunk and then came back and there was a wedding reception going on. So he just went and hung out at the wedding reception and drank beer and smoked cigarettes till 4 a.m. And there's pictures of him. And what's funny was I want to say Pep Guardiola was like, you guys need to leave these guys alone. Like seriously, he's like, I'm so glad there weren't camera phones around because we'd have all gotten in trouble in my days. Like, just these guys deserve a night out. He didn't violate curfew. He wasn't going to play. They already told him he wasn't going to play. He went out, had a drink and a smoke. Are you kidding me?
There you go.
That's a day in Spain. Come on.
That would be awesome. And also you mentioned Pep Guardiola, which, you know, my significant other probably has her eyes rolled back into her head, just dreaming right now. So
Troy, you're damn
no, that's the next one. That's
Troy, you're damn right,
one.
buddy.
Snoop Dogg and Willie Nelson together.
Okay. Snoop Dogg has admitted that he absolutely in no way could hang with Willie. That Willie's shit is so strong and Willie just never stops. Yeah. Now let me tell you, Evan, in this whatever world we're talking about, I've done good work.
You put in your work, man. You put in your time. Yes.
But man, yeah, hanging out with Snoop and Willie would be awesome until I was the first one to pass the fuck out and I find myself naked, duct taped to the top of the tour bus doing 80 on I-75 South heading to the Everglades.
Oh, that's awesome. Dude, Roger put some good ones in there. Jerry Garcia. I don't do smack. Okay. Joe Cocker. Now that would be one I'm like, okay, I would love to have, once again, nice little shot, you know, of something in there and just sit with Joe Cocker and have him tell me stories. Yes, no, maybe. I don't know anything about Joe Cocker other than I love the way he sings. Yeah. And that John Belushi completely over exaggerated his sort of manic sort of, you know, because he's got, I don't want to get this wrong. He's not cerebral palsy. He's got some MS, I think. MS, right? MS, multiple sclerosis. Yeah. Because those are the same thing. So here's one that I have kind of a twinge of like jealousy that I'm even going to say it because, well, anyway, Gillian Anderson, Scully. I mean, dude, I guess. Wait, what? Oh, okay. First off, I'm assuming that when you were in college, you had an unrequited crush on X-Files. I still and really hoped to be the third wheel in a like Eskimo Brothers festival with David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson. So I can't help you there. Must die. I can't help you there. I mean, she's not unattractive, but she occupies like Nicole Kidman space for me. Like, I guess she's attractive. Okay. So I'm going to go total opposite. Joe Cocker has throw one in there. Tourette's. Oh, okay. Oh, he's got Tourette's. My bad. Thanks, JoJo. I'm going total opposite. Okay, wait a second. Is Joe Cocker dead? No, he's not dead. I don't. And Gillian Anderson isn't dead. There's some weird conversation going on, and I'm just trying to keep up. Dead? Who? Joe Cocker. Who are we even talking about? No, Roger. Alexa, this is going to make me really sad. I'm looking it up right now. Joe Cocker died on December 22nd, 2014. Joe Cocker died. My God. Roger. I thought he was dead. Oh, that hurts. Wait. When's the last time you listened to a Joe Cocker song? Dude, it's been a minute, but I love the guy. So much that you didn't know he died 7 years ago? You know what? Okay. That's some low down dirty bullshit. Okay, right yes. There. Willie Nelson is alive and he's going to live forever. Willie, him and Keith Richards are just going to be sitting around in like 27 and be like, They're pickled. They are pickled from the inside, and it's just like, nope, not gonna die. All right, here's my last one, my friend.
All right.
Last one. Like I said, I'm going from Gillian Anderson, and I'm going kind of down the spectrum a little bit. This one's for the ladies. I'm going Idris Elba.
Like, you want to have a beer with Idris Elba?
Do you? I mean, no, I'm asking you. That's a person I'm throwing out there. Idris. Would you want to have a beer with Idris?
What? Yeah. I honestly, I would totally go to a soccer match with him.
Okay.
He strikes me as probably an Arsenal fan or something like that.
He's a Crystal Palace fan.
Is he?
I don't know. I'm just making that shit up.
Did you see the Saturday Night Live sketch where he was the host, and they did like a studio bit, and it was like halftime of a soccer match, and he was an injured player, so he was doing the halftime commentary.
No.
And he's totally inappropriate. Yeah, it's really funny.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out. I will check it out without. Yeah. Anyway,
Gia, Idris Elba is who's he playing on the wire? Who's he playing on the wire?
Am I gonna do this? I'm gonna do this.
He's
I'm gonna regret
this.
What's
his character's name on?
Help us out, Io.
Shit. Stringer Bell.
Stringer. Damn it.
Ha. I'm watching the show.
There you go. All right. So Gia,
who's gay?
And this is a thing.
Joe Cocker's gay?
No. Joe Cocker.
Idris Elba's gay?
No, he is a beautiful black man, as you will see here.
Married. That doesn't mean he isn't gay.
No, he's.
Should he be the next Bond?
You know what? Here's the thing. I believe he should be. I believe he should be given a chance. But I applaud him for this.
The woman, yeah.
Right here. He was like, no.
Well, the woman that was in the last one. I think she's lined up to be the next one, but we'll see.
Cary Grant.
Oh, Cary Grant probably was gay.
Yeah. Well, Cary Grant, man.
You've got Maslow's hierarchy. Erickson's 8 stages of what?
Oh, stop it. Stop looking at my...
Well, you're the one putting this out there. Thank God it's not porn.
8 stages of psychological development.
I keep waiting for your like Pog.
I have boring stuff.
Pog gets railed by 8 dudes kind of thing.
Dude, oh my God. Woo. Jojo, I turn. Oh my God, gorgeous. Thank you for sharing his beautiful. Okay, Kiana. Okay. There you go. Right there. So, I mean, he for those of us who have peppered beards, he's kind of our champion right there. So right there, it kind of looks like a mugshot, but yeah, hey, that's all right. But there he is. Right there. And he's had the Rona. He's had the Rona.
I think you might be a little obsessed.
Not obsessed. Why am I obsessed?
Do you want to be Stringer Bell?
I would love to play the part. That would be cool. I could play that part, dude. I could play that part.
Ha.
I got that.
Gia, it's his internet, not mine. I don't know what to tell you.
What did she say? What'd she say?
It's like Maslow and Erickson. Why'd I tune in for school? I feel you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for the Hey Aaron segment. Aaron, that was a good segment, my friend.
It was fun.
Stringer Bell. Yeah, no, I get you, Io. I do too. Kate Blanchett.
So far, he's pretty cool. He's the smartest guy in the organization, as far as I can tell.
Wow, Kate Blanchett should be the next 007. Oh
no,
that's interesting.
I'm gonna like where you're going with that, Jojo. I'm gonna push back and say Kate Blanchett should be M. She should take over from Dame Judi Dench as M.
Oh, that's.
But I don't think at the way she looks and the way she presents herself, I would say she's more of an M.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kiana, we're gonna have fun in Vegas.
Stop it. Okay, we're gonna end this show, and I'm getting uncomfortable with the viewership that's coming on board. So we are going to go ahead and hand it over to Aaron. Aaron, you get the final say, my friend. But that's his problem stream. IO. Shit.
I'm going to leave us with an interesting thought. Andrew Cuomo has come under attack for potentially, yes, Helen Mirren is definitely. Andrew Cuomo has had some accusations of inappropriate behavior. May go into the realm of sexual assault. We're not quite sure. And I think this situation illustrates a main difference in the way a lot of people are looking at the world right now. If Andrew Cuomo did wrong, for as much as I like some of the things he's accomplished, then the punishment should fit the crime. If it's, I'm not going to speculate. I don't know the things that I've heard he's been accused of. If it's true, he should probably resign and walk away from politics. But I think the Democrats learned a lesson from the Al Franken issue. And I'm not here defending Al Franken, but I'm saying there was a pretty quick response because of what was going on at the time. Should Al Franken still be in Congress? I don't know. We can have a conversation differently, but I think the way it got handled maybe was a bit knee-jerk. But at the end of the day, if what Andrew Cuomo is accused of, he's done, Democrats will put their hands up and say, you know what, walk away, dude. You shouldn't be here. You call for his resignation. Rather than circle the wagons and no. How dare you? How dare you? And that's where we are. Over the weekend, the Republicans basically were asked to swear fealty to their golden idol, to their Mooby. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them did. Not everybody. The CPAC straw poll came back at like 66%. So there were 34% people who showed a little bit of balls there. But my point is this. We're really at a point where making decisions matter and speaking up matters, but being informed and knowing all the details matter. And we have got to be diligent about that, or we're going to have a repeat. I can't believe the number of people who want to double down on being dipshit wrong. But it's a reality, and it's a reality we need to face. And in that reality, we need to recognize the important issues to look after and the important ways to sort those things out. And it's imperative that we demonstrate our intellect over the next months and years. And the fact that we're listening to scientists and using that as the basis for our decisions, rather than Texas deciding to go rogue and be crazy.
Can we please talk about that next time?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. I mean, it was kind of on the docket, but yeah, I mean, it's a crazy thing. But this is the difference. This is, I would rather err on the side of having too much information and occasionally going too far than to eschew good reasoning because it hurts my feelings or a preconceived notion of how I want the world to work. Mm-hmm. And that's what we have to be diligent about now. I'm with you. The Democrats do cannibalize themselves all too often, and we need to be aware of that. And we need to not march in lockstep the way Republicans have over the last 4 to 6 years, but to recognize certain battles, it's not the time.
Right.
Right now, we are fighting for the soul of this country, and we have it We've got a loose grasp on it, but it's all too tenuous. And keep doing the work. Just because we won doesn't mean it isn't time to do it. We won 12 years ago. We had a great victory 12 years ago. And for 8 years, we thought the work was done. And it came back to bite us. Came back to bite us hard. And if we want to avoid a repeat of that shit, we got to put stuff on lock right now. Let's get that minimum wage taken care of. Let's get healthcare taken care of. Let's get these vaccines taken care of. Let's be so successful that there is no alternative. That to vote for something else is to vote to harm yourself.
Let's see educators as essential.
Educators are essential as far as I'm concerned. If I was, I mean, if I was banging on about we got to get schools reopened again, then I'd have teachers at the front of the line and the janitors and everybody else in faculty administration with them. If you want that school building open, then you declare every one of those people an essential worker. And on that, folks, once again, I'm going to cheers my frontline teachers, janitors, admin assistants, everybody out there doing it. But be diligent, folks. I love you.
Absolutely. Black people, vote.
And on that, go get yourself a double Mooby burger.
We will be on, what is it called? House Party.
House Party. After hours with Evan and Aaron.
Ooh.